Move it really quick. There we go. Okay. Welcome to the slow flow. This practice is the hella lazy yoga practice. So your butt shouldn't move. This practice in particular is going to be subtle movements. And I want you just to notice and have awareness to certain areas. So we'll be started, or you'll start off in seated poses, and then I'll take you through different ranges of motions in subtle ways. So hopefully you can feel the difference as well. So I'll have you just come into a comfortable seated position with your sit bones rooted down to the ground. Have the fingers touching the ground or the earth. Allow yourself to sit back slightly. Crown of the head is reaching high towards the sky. And take a transitional breath here. And then take a nice full inhale in through the nose. Exhale. Inhale in through your nose. Exhale. Take a nice deep inhale in through your nose. And exhale. You can leave your fingertips connecting to the ground, or you can bring the palms into your lap, palms connecting to the thighs, or palms up, back of the hands resting onto the thighs. And I want you to close your eyes or find a soft gaze. And then I want you to notice the breath entering in through your nostrils. Take a subtle pause at the top of your inhale. And then slowly release your exhale, whether out through the nostrils or a gentle sigh out the mouth. Take a nice deep inhale here. Gentle pause at the top of the inhale. Decide if you need more breath. And then carefully exhale, your choice, through the nostrils or through the mouth. Take the next few cycles of breath in this breathing pattern where you're taking your full inhale in. You give yourself that subtle pause at the top of the inhale. And then you make a choice of how you want to exhale. And if the mind has already started drifting, I want you to bring it back to either the tip of the nose, noticing how the inhale comes in through the nostrils, the subtle pause, and the exhale. And if following the breath isn't working for you, begin noting how your body moves as it breathes. So you've got choices here as well, where to take the mind. And then take your full inhale in. Let the chin drop to the chest as you exhale, creating length in the spine. And you'll take a few breaths here. And I want you to notice that when you drop your chin, do you feel the shoulder blades or the shoulders in general rolling in, coming forward? And if you do, just flip the palms up and maybe take the hands out to the side. One more big breath. And then on your next inhale, draw a line with the nose, looking up towards the ceiling or the sky, opening up the front of the throat. And while you're here, I want you to notice, do your shoulders move up? Or can you let them release down? Take one more big breath here. And then as you exhale, chin comes into the chest. Inhale, look up. Chin to chest on the exhale. One more time, look up on the inhale. Chin to chest as you exhale. And then bring the crown of the head high, let the nose come back to neutral. Take a nice big breath here. Okay, set your right fingers next to your right hip. And you can walk the right fingers out a little bit or keep them in close. If you walk your fingers away, it'll give the top of the shoulder just gentle length. Take your full inhale here. Let the crown of the head reach high towards the sky. And then look out over the left shoulder as you exhale. Don't force the rotation. So if you pause before you're looking out over your left shoulder, that's fine. And I want you to take a couple of cycles of breath here and just notice if maybe the right shoulder is starting to roll in. Can you roll the shoulder back? Maybe with the next exhale, you can look out over the left shoulder. And then slowly and carefully bring yourself back into center. Take a breath. Set the left hand down if you want. You can invite the right hand back into the lap, or you can leave it to the side. Big breath here. And then as you exhale, look out over your right shoulder. And make the subtle adjustments here where you can feel the length and the opening. Just a few more cycles of breath. And then on your next exhale, bring yourself back into center. Take a cycle of breath. All right, nice full inhale here. Drop the left ear to left shoulder as you exhale. And I want you to note, do the scapulas on either side kind of go up higher to compensate for shorter muscle tension? And if so, maybe you bring your left ear up a little bit. Maybe walk the right fingers away from the hip, the right hip, creating more length. Or maybe you're bringing the right fingers in closer. You have choices. Give yourself one more big breath here. And then slowly bring yourself back into center. Deep inhale. And then guide the right ear to right shoulder as you exhale. And once you find the sweet spot, you make the choices. Do you need to bring the head up a little bit? Can you walk your left fingers away? Or do you need to bring them closer? One more big breath here. And then bring yourself back into center nice and tall. And just notice the subtle awareness that you brought to the top of your shoulders. Awesome. Let's create a little bit of a flow here. So reach your arms up high towards the sky. And then as you exhale, bring the right hand down, leave the left arm high. Reach your left fingertips up and then slowly bend over towards the right side. Reach your left arm up high, set the left fingertip down, reach the right arm up high towards the sky. And then slowly side bend over towards the left. Nice deep inhale here. Slow, steady exhale. And then reach your arm up high towards the sky and set both hands down. Reach the arms up on your inhale. Interlace the fingers, send the palms up towards the sky. Nice big breath here. And then roll the palms forward, pausing at shoulder height, and then tucking the chin into chest. Allow the scapulas to spread away from the spine. One more big breath here. And then slowly sweep the arms up and bring the arms down. Reach the arms up high towards the sky. Set the right hand down, leave the left hand high, and then slowly tip over towards the right side. Reach the left arm up, set the left hand down as you reach the right arm up, and then slowly side bend over towards the left. Awesome. Reach both arms up high towards the sky. Interlace the fingers, send the palms up. And then sweep the palms forward, pausing at shoulder height, then tucking the chin into the chest. On your next inhale, sweep the palms up high towards the sky, and then bring the hands down to the side. Awesome. All right, I want you to send your legs long in front of you. And I know the intention is not to move, but if you need to make any adjustments to have your sit bones connect to the earth, please be welcome to it. So the heels are planted, the toes are up. Let the toes point towards the face here. Hands can come down to the side. Take a nice big breath here. And exhale. Point the toes towards the, away from the face, sorry. And then bring the toes towards the face, pushing the heels out. Great. Point the toes away. Bring the toes in towards the face. Point the toes away. And I want you to stay here for 5 cycles of breath, really pointing the toes away, feeling the front line of the legs lengthen. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. And then slowly bring the toes towards the face, pointing the toes towards the face, pushing the heels out. Staying here for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bring the toes up to the sky. Maybe give yourself some circles with your ankles. And then reverse direction. All right, and then maybe you move the legs up and down, side to side. Yeah. All right, and then find your legs at about hip distance apart. Heels planted, toes up, coming up nice and tall. Crown of the head is reaching high towards the sky. Spine is engaged into the earth. Reach your arms up high as you inhale. And then fold forward, trying to reach the crown of the head past the toes. So you give yourself this nice length. Now, some of us, we're going to be able to reach and hug around our toes. Some of us are going to come to the tops of the legs or even the thighs. Wherever you can be, where you can keep the shoulders coming down and away from the ears. Pushing the heels forward, maybe pointing the toes towards the face. Take a nice big inhale in through your nose. Your choice on the exhale. And then you have 3 breaths here to really feel how the body is moving as it breathes in this fold. Two more breaths. Last breath. And then take your full inhale in. Gently walk yourself up nice and tall. Big breath in. And out. Then take your legs just a little bit wider. Okay, so now you have a little abduction to the thighs. And just note what you felt in the low back and maybe even in the thighs, in the back of the thighs. And just gently bring the toes towards the face here. And then away. And then bring them up towards the sky. All right, reach your arms up high on your inhale. Fold down center as you exhale. So some of us will want to put our hands on our toes or just allow them to rest comfortably on the mat in the center. And you can come up onto fingertips if that feels comfortable. Keep your straight spine. Remember what it feels like to keep the scapulas down and away from the ears. 5 big breaths here, really pointing the toes towards the face, pushing out through the heels, feeling little subtle differences maybe in the low back or the hamstrings. 3 more breaths. Two. One. And then carefully on your next inhale, walk yourself up nice and tall. Maybe reach the arms up high towards the sky and bring them down to the side. Okay, let's invite our legs a little bit wider. So take the left leg out to like 10 or 11 o'clock spot if we were using the face of a clock, and then the right leg out to about 2 or 3 in between there. All right, toes point up and then bring them towards the face, pushing out through the heel, and then point the toes away. And notice the different muscles that are engaged because you're bringing the legs a little bit more from the midline, and then bring the toes up towards the sky. All right. Sit bones are still rooted down to the ground. Our torso is going forward. Reach your arms up high towards the sky, and then you have the choice whether you want your fingers to touch the toes or fold forward down center. There is no right or wrong. So once you're in your wide-legged forward fold, make any adjustments that you need to get comfortable because you're here for 5 deep cycles of breath. And I want you to notice what different muscles became engaged as you took the legs away from the midline. Keeping the toes pointing up towards the sky. 3 more big breaths here. 2 more. Last breath. And then carefully walk yourself up nice and tall. Yes. All right. So I want you to bring the bottoms of the feet together like a book. So you've had a abduction. Now you're doing a little bit of rotation and the knees are getting involved here. So the bottoms of the feet are touching like a book, and just let the feet land. We'll adjust here. I'm going to have you do something to figure out your adjustment. So take a hold of the ankles, sit up nice and tall, crown of the head is reaching high towards the sky. Take your nice full inhale in through the nose. And then gently and carefully fold over your feet as you exhale. Okay. So while you're here, just for a few cycles of breath, you may notice that the inner thigh muscles are feeling some length, and maybe you're even feeling it in the knees. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, I want you to come up nice and tall. Okay, if the stretch in the thigh was too intense, I want you just to take the heels away from the pubic bone. But if you're like, oh, I think I can explore a deeper pose, bring the heels in closer, okay? And know that at any point you can make adjustments even if I don't cue it. All right, so let's take a nice big breath in here, finding our sweet spot, and then folding forward as you exhale. Crown of the head is reaching forward, keeping the scapulas drawing down and away from the ears. Let the bottoms of the feet come together like a book. And then maybe fold a little deeper on the next exhale. All right, can you take your big breath in? Find a gentle pause at the top. And then make the choice of how you need to exhale and release the breath. Beautiful. Then I want you to slowly and carefully start leaning over towards the left knee. So maybe the left elbow is resting on your left knee. And then you're slowly leaning back. So coming up nice and tall, and then sending the right elbow towards the right knee. You're making these pelvic rolls and then rolling forward and then coming over towards the left side and then up. And just slowly start making your pelvic rolls here. And just note if you feel like there lacks some range of motion, or maybe something feels good, or if you're watching this now, you may notice that I'm having like knees roll up on one side or the other because things are tight. You just honor that. So this is just our practice to bring awareness. And then the next time you're folded over your feet, just pause for a beat and then send it the other way. So slowly start leaning over towards the right, coming up, and then over towards the left and coming down. Back towards center, and just take a few more rolls this way too. And you may notice something feels really good, or maybe not so much the other way. This is kind of like our opportunity to take note of all the sweet, deep spots that we may not notice in our day-to-day life. And we just care for it. And then the next time you find yourself folded down center, I want you to pause for a beat. And then carefully bring yourself up nice and tall. Awesome. All right, I want you to send the left leg long and keep the right foot touching the inside of your left leg. So this is your seated tree pose. So you're bringing awareness here now that you will eventually do a little more abduction on the left side while keeping the hip rotated on the right side, and we'll flip flop, and you can feel the difference of what's going on maybe in the glutes or the low back here. All right, so keeping the left leg coming out from the hip, the toes are pointed high, pushing out through the left heel to keep the left leg engaged. I want you to reach your arms up high towards the sky. And then as you fold forward, choose to place your hands at the bottom of the left foot or allow them to rest comfortably on either side of the leg. So the right hand can be on the inside and the left hand can be on the outside. And then you're drawing the scapulas down and away and taking the crown of the head past the left toes. And I want you to drop into your deep cycle of breath here. Two more. Last breath. And then ever so carefully walk yourself up nice and tall. Yes. Okay, invite the left foot out just a little bit. Okay, the right leg will stay put. So you're slowly going to bring your left leg away. All right, so you're staying folded down center. So reach the arms up high towards the sky as you inhale, and then fold down center as you exhale. So I want you to begin noting where having that abduction in the left leg and that rotation of the right hip, just notice how that's changing what you feel in the pelvis and in the low back. Take another big breath here. And then carefully walk yourself up nice and tall. Yes. All right, let's invite the left leg out to the 10, 11 o'clock spot. Right knee still bent. Reach your arms up high towards the sky and then fold forward down center once again. So I know some of this may seem kind of similar, but we have different chronic holding patterns in how we hold our body throughout the day. And sometimes they're so subtle that we don't always quite notice what they are. So going through these little gentle awarenesses here, maybe you're noting, oh, I think I sit this way, or I hold my body this way. So that's why having one leg out in abduction and having maybe another leg doing internal rotation, you can explore to bring that awareness of what you're feeling in different parts of your body. Okay, one more big breath here. And then carefully invite yourself up nice and tall. Yes. Okay. So the left knee will, the right leg will stay where it's at, and you'll slowly start bending the left knee and bringing the left heel towards the left glute. Right foot is touching the left thigh. This is called deer pose in yin. Cheerleading, some of us call it cheerleading pose, and then I've also heard it called 90-90-90. So we have the internal rotation of the right hip, but now we have some external rotation going on in the left hip. All right. Just for starters, I want you to reach the arms up high towards the sky, and then gently fold down center. It won't be a deep fold, or maybe it is, I'm not sure, but just notice what you're feeling here. You won't stay here long because this isn't the traditional pose. Maybe take one more breath here. And then carefully walk yourself up nice and tall. Okay. So the torso was in line here. You did forward flexion. You're going to do rotation, all right, into the traditional deer pose. So reach the arms up high towards the sky and then rotate the torso over towards the right side. Setting the palms down to the ground. You can stay here in this gentle twist, or maybe you walk yourself a little bit over towards the right. The left hip bone can come up gently. You'll notice lengthening in the low back. So be gentle. If you're one to have tight, just tightness in the low back, be gentle here, but also enjoy the rotation of the lumbar spine. If you have a bolster, maybe you bring yourself down a little bit lower over your bolster. Okay, drop in to 3 deep cycles of breath here. 2. 1. And then carefully walk yourself up on your next inhale. Give yourself a gentle counter twist as you exhale. Looking out over your left shoulder. And then coming back into center. Yes. All right. Take the left leg back out long. So you have that half butterfly pose. Reach your arms up high towards the sky and then rotate over the left leg. And then carefully and slowly fold over your left leg. Let the crown of the head reach past your left toes. Let the left toes point towards your face. Left heel points out. Take 3 more deep cycles of breath here. 2 more. Last one. And then keep the left arm to the outside of the left leg as you invite the right arm up high towards the sky. Fingers spread nice and wide. Slide the scapulas down and away from the ears. Give yourself space. And then carefully reach the right arm across the right ear as you open up the sternum towards the right side. Feel the length from the tip of the scapula on the right side. Pull away from the hip. And then keep pushing out through the left heel. All right. Slowly and carefully rotate the torso over the left leg, returning back into your fold. Walking the hands down center. And then slowly walking yourself up nice and tall. All right, send both legs out long in front of you. Move the legs up and down, side to side. Maybe make some circles. Okay, the right leg will stay hip distance out. And then invite the left leg to the inside of the left foot to the inside of the right leg. So you're in your seated tree pose. So if gravity isn't in your favor someday, you can always do tree pose this way. Sit bones are rooted down to the ground. Reach the arms up high towards the sky and then slowly and carefully fold down center. So both arms are into the inside of the right leg. And you pause here. Maybe begin noticing how things feel just slightly different because the right hip is coming forward and the left hip has the internal rotation. One more big breath. And then carefully walk yourself up nice and tall. Great. Let's invite the right leg out just a little bit wider. Okay. Reach your arms up high towards the sky as you inhale and gently fold forward as you exhale. And you're here for a few cycles of breath. And I want you to just notice what you're feeling, the differences between left and right. One more breath. And then carefully walk yourself up nice and tall. Awesome. All right. Invite the right leg out for a little more abduction. So we're taking the right leg away from the midline. Our left hip is still in internal rotation. Reach the arms up high towards the sky and then gently fold forward as you exhale. Still coming down center. Just a few more cycles of breath here. Be mindful that you take in your full inhale. Give yourself the pause at the top of the breath, and then slowly exhale. And then walk yourself up nice and tall. Awesome. All right. Let's invite the right knee to bend, bringing the right heel towards the right glute. So you're just giving yourself some gentle external rotation. You're in your deer pose, torso's coming forward. Reach the arms up high towards the sky, and then you'll fold forward gently down center. And notice what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. One more breath. And then gently bring yourself up nice and tall. All right, let's come into the traditional deer pose. Reach the arms up high towards the sky. Rotate the torso over towards the left side. And then gently place the fingers down onto the ground. Let the fingers connect to the earth. And then make a choice of how deep you want to take this rotation. So you will feel the length in the low back for sure. But it's kind of your choice of how far it feels good or comfortable for you. 3 more big breaths. Two more. Last one. And then carefully walk yourself up nice and tall as you inhale. Give yourself the gentle counter twist as you exhale, going over towards the right side. And then bring your torso back into center. Invite the right leg back out wide. Reach the arms up nice and high. Rotate the torso over your right leg and then fold forward. Let both hands rest comfortably on the outside of the leg, or maybe you take a hold of the bottom of the foot. Leaving the right arm to the outside of the right leg, reach the left arm up high towards the sky as you open the torso towards the left side, and then reach the left arm across the left ear. Yes. Reach the fingertips away from the shoulder. And then imagine you're creating this nice length from base of the scapula to the top of the left hip. One more big breath. And then rotate the torso over the right leg. Bring both hands into center. Walk yourself down the middle. And then bring yourself up nice and tall. Awesome. All right. Leave the left leg in front of you and then stack the right leg on top as if you're stacking fire logs. The knee and the ankle should come in alignment. If this is too much for you, I want you to come into an easy pose with the left leg lying in front of you, okay? And you can always place a blanket underneath the knee if you need it. All right, come up nice and tall here. Bring the arms up nice and high. And then fold over your stacked legs without letting your hips lift up. Let the hands touch the ground. One breath. And then carefully walk yourself up nice and tall. Okay, if you want, you can invite the legs a little bit further away from the pubic bone if you want something a little bit deeper. If you need a little more support here, you bring them in a little closer. Okay, that's why we folded forward, so you can have that adjustment. All right, I want you to bring the arms out to a T. Reach the fingertips away from each other. Bring the left arm in front of you. Bend the left elbow so the left fingertips come up high towards the sky, and then invite the right elbow on top of the crook of the left elbow. All right, some of us are going to want to roll together like this. I really encourage you to keep that openness. So if you need to like slide the forearm out to give yourself that opening, I want you to do that. And then invite the elbows at shoulder height. So you're in your figure four. If you feel comfortable, you can find your eagle arm pose by allowing the palms to touch and the fingers coming high towards the sky. Cool. All right, as you inhale, lift the elbows a little bit higher than the shoulders. And as you exhale, bring the elbows lower than the shoulders. Lift on the inhale. Lower on the exhale. Lift on the inhale. Lower on the exhale. And then bring the elbows to shoulder height. And I want you to stay here for 3 deep cycles of breath. And if you notice that the elbows kind of go up or down, bring them back to shoulder height. Keep the shoulders dropping down and away from the ears. 2 more breaths. Last breath. And then slowly and carefully make your way back into your figure four arms. Slowly unwind by bringing the left hand behind and the right arm on top of the right shoulder. So then you're linking your fingertips together if you can. If not, you're just resting the right hand on the right scapula, the left hand towards the middle of the back. I want you to focus on keeping the left elbow pointing down and the right elbow pointing high. Be careful that you're not pushing the heart forward. Okay, take a nice big breath here. And exhale. If you want, maybe you do a nice side bend over towards the right. And then bring yourself back into center. And then side bend over towards the right again. So you're feeling that length again on the top of the shoulder. And then back towards center. One more time. Side bend over towards the right. And then back into center. Take a nice big breath here. And slowly release as you exhale. Let the fingertips connect to the ground. Extend the legs long in front of you. If you need to move the legs up and down, side to side, you can. But then eventually make your way onto your fire log pose with the right leg on the bottom and the left leg on top. Knees and ankles are stacked. Okay. Reach the arms up high towards the sky as you inhale, and then fold forward down center as you exhale. And just kind of notice what you're feeling. See here in the glutes, maybe even in the inner thigh. And then slowly come up nice and tall. And then make the subtle adjustments here by bringing the legs away from the pubic bone or closer to the pubic bone. So you have your nice stability. All right, reach your arms out to a T. Bring the right arm in front of you, bend the right elbow, fingers are pointing high towards the sky. Invite the left elbow to the crook of the right. Okay, you're here for a breath, and you know left and right may not match, so maybe you're bringing the left elbow on top of the right, or the left wrist on top of the right elbow. Okay. And then if you want, you find your eagle arm pose. For this side, I'll keep it in the figure 4. And then carefully as you inhale, lift the elbows higher than the shoulder. And then as you exhale, lower. Rise on the inhale. Lower on the exhale. Rise on the inhale. Lower on the exhale. And then bringing the elbows to shoulder height, you stay for 3 cycles of breath. 2, 1. And then carefully you unwind the arms, let them come out to a T if you need to. Reach the right arm behind you and the left arm on the top. Maybe your fingertips touch, maybe they don't on this side. Just keeping the right elbow pointing down and the left elbow high. Take a nice big breath here. And exhale. Maybe you give yourself a side bend over towards the left side, giving yourself some length on top of the right shoulder, and then come back into center. You've got 2 more breaths here. Last breath. And then return back into center. Take the arms out to a T, reach the fingertips away from each other, and then let the fingertips touch. Beautiful. All right, from here, you can send the legs out long if you need to move them up and down really quickly, but then have the feet connect down to the ground. I'm going to change direction. All right, feet are flat, hug the knees into the chest, come up nice and tall here. Really root the feet into the earth, and crown of the head is reaching high towards the sky. So you should feel some gentle length here, even in the SI joint, the joint between the hip and the low back. Crown of the head is reaching high towards the sky. Drop the chin into the chest. Take a big breath. And then ever so carefully lower yourself down onto the ground. Feet flat, knees up. All right. Gently and carefully hug the knees into the chest. Give them a nice squeeze. Rocking from side to side with ease. And I want you to note the difference that you feel with the feet flat and the knees up, hugging the knees into the chest that way, and then hugging the knees in the chest this way, with gravity helping you and supporting you. All right. Find some stillness. Take the arms out to a T. Reach the fingertips away from the shoulders. Take a nice big inhale here. As you exhale, allow the knees to drop over towards the right side. The knees are stacked. The feet are pushed out. So the ankles are flexed. Take a nice inhale here. And maybe look past the left shoulders as you exhale. Take big breaths in. Slow breaths out. One more breath. Then bringing the gaze back into center. Bring the knees back into the chest, however feels comfortable for you. Take a breath and then allow the knees to fall over towards the left side, stacked. And once you find your stability, then look out over the right shoulder, giving yourself the deep supine twist. And you're here for 3 deep cycles of breath, and you know that the exhale is your choice. Two. Last breath. And then I want you to carefully bring your gaze back into center. Bring the knees back into center. Give them a nice squeeze. Maybe rock from side to side. And then place the feet flat down. So they're probably about hip distance apart here. Heel toe, the feet then a little bit wider than the mat, or maybe mat distance. Okay, so you've got a little bit of this abduction going on in the hips. The feet are flat and the knees are up. The fingertips are reaching away from the shoulders here. Your arms are in a T. Take a nice big breath in. And then allow the knees now to fall over towards the right side. Okay. So the right foot may be on top of the left knee. And you've been in this pose before. This is this deer pose, only you're supine. And I want you to notice that what are you feeling here? How has this changed since you've become supine on the mat? So you're face up on the mat. You're not seated anymore. So you don't have gravity anchoring down onto the top of the pelvic bone. And then also, you have a little bit of abduction into the thighs. So when you allow the legs to go over towards the right side here, as opposed to when they were the knees were stacked on top of each other. All right, enough talking from me. Take 2 more breaths here. Last breath. All right, if you turned your gaze, bring your gaze back into center. Use your core strength to bring the feet flat and the knees up. The feet are as wide as the mat still. Take a breath here. Take a big inhale in. Allow the knees to fall over towards the left side as you exhale. All right, and this should feel a little bit different from the right side. I want you to make the slow, steady adjustments. Just kind of take a little inventory of what feels different when you were in different postures. Two more breaths. Last breath. And then bring your gaze into center. Bring the knees up. The feet are still as wide as the mat. And then this time hug the knees in, but they'll be a little bit wider than your torso. And wrap the arms around the shins. Gently rock from side to side. And take note if this feels a little bit different on the low back, having that abduction once again in the legs. Rocking from side to side here. And then take a hold of the bottoms of the feet, lifting the legs up to the sky, finding a nice happy baby pose. Maybe you bring one knee in as you extend one leg long. Bring another knee in as you extend the other leg long. Maybe you extend both legs long. Just have a little play here. Going from side to side. And then come to a point of stillness in your happy baby. And then invite the knees in. And then invite one leg long, the other leg long. Arms reach up overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch. So point the toes away. Reach the fingertips away. Take a full inhale in. Leave everything where it's at as you exhale. And then reach the right fingers away from the right toes, feeling the length on the inhale. Leave everything as is, release as you exhale. And then lengthen the left side, reach left fingers away from the left toes on the inhale. Release as you exhale. And then reach both fingers away from both toes on the inhale. One more time, full body stretch. Bring the arms down to the side as you exhale. Let the toes splay out. All right, welcome to your Shavasana pose. Take a nice big inhale in through the nose. Your choice on the exhale. Inhale in. Your choice on the exhale. One more big breath here. And exhale. And know that I am minding the time for you. And I will call you back. Okay, take a nice big breath in. And exhale. Slowly and carefully take a big inhale in. Make your way onto your right side as you exhale. Another cycle of breath, no rush. And then carefully walk yourself up nice and tall, coming into an easy pose. Hands rest comfortably on your lap. Reach your arms up high towards the sky as you inhale. Bring them together in heart center as you exhale. Reach up on the inhale. Heart center as you exhale. Reach up on the inhale. Heart center with a soft bow as you exhale. I thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for joining.